Fight fiends and forecasters. 5 in a row. Dog of the week. Hydra Meal got it done. Walked forward. Pushed the pace. Didn't shy away from a fight. And we got another dog of the week to cash. 5 in a row. That's amazing, honestly. 5 consecutive underdogs in a row cashing. If you're fading, that's probably not a good idea. If I'm letting you know my most confident dog of the week this week, just hit the cash out button. It's going to save you money. I'm here trying to help you out. I'm working hard, working around the clock, and we're ready to go in Las Vegas, Nevada. UFC 313 main event. Alex Poton Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev finally gets a title shot. But it's Ramadan season. I'm quite sure of that. So he's going to have to fight during Ramadan. How's he going to do? Seems to be a pretty close number here. It's almost a 50-50 fight. We're going to break down that fight last. First, we're going to talk about the first fight of the night. Before we get going, please like the video, comment below, help with that algorithm. We're going to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to be as big as ever because we have been consistent. We've been killing the locks of the week over the last 2-3 years. Doing a video each and every week, so if you're just tuning in, subscribe now. Suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. If you want in my Discord, it's absolutely free. I'll post the locks in there early. Not too early. You got to get in Patreon. It's only $5 a month. It's going to $8 a month at the end of the month. So for $5, join now. It's going to $8. I'm posting big bets. We're doing sport bets as well. I mean, it's worth more than $8. It's worth more than $5, that's for sure. I'm putting these big bets down on basketball, hockey. I just put a bet down on the PGA Arnold Palmer Classic this week. It starts tomorrow, March 6th to 9th. I have a couple bets on that. And I'm also potentially looking at a golf bet later in the season at the Masters, the 89th Masters. So join for $5. Might be $8 by the time you join, but you want to join as soon as possible. This is my biggest betting card of the year, of the last 3 years. I've never went this heavy in my life. So for $5, join now. And sit back, relax, enjoy, crack a drink, spark one up. We're going to talk about these picks as fast as possible. I'll give you my confident leans on each and every fight, and I'll let you know which fights we should probably just stay away from. First fight, it's a 50-50 fight. We should probably stay away. It's a bantamweight bout. John Castaneda finally gets a fight. Douglas Silva, D'Andrade. He was probably going to get smoked last week. We all know that. Yeah, he's kind of stepped out. I don't know what happened there. We're thinking Douglas Silva, D'Andrade stepped away from the fight. Now John Castaneda gets Chris Gutierrez, who was supposed to fight Gene Matsumoto. Matsumoto went to go fight Rob Font. Now Chris Gutierrez was waiting for an opponent. He's been ready to go, though. Now he's getting John Castaneda. 50-50 fight here. I mean, hard to say who's going to get the win here. Both fighters have been going the distance in their last number of fights. Chris Gutierrez, last 4 fights, went to a unanimous decision. Last 3 for John Castaneda, to a unanimous decision. I'm looking at the overs here. I'm looking at this fight to go the distance. But if this fight's going to stay on the feet, and no one's going to have success with a takedown, I got to think the better striker will be the guy without the reach advantage in this fight. It's Chris Gutierrez. It's actually a pick I don't love entirely. You know, he doesn't have a reach advantage in this fight. He relies on those leg kicks. I wouldn't bet it. It's just a pick. I think he will be the better striker. I don't think he will get taken down, and that's the base of my prediction here. He won't get taken down. He'll be the better striker, but this fight will go 15 minutes, though. I don't doubt that. Over 1.5 is probably the best bet in this fight. We're on to the second fight of the night now, where I'm suggesting we should be as careful as possible. We got Djorden Santos, 10-1, off a win to Will Curry on Dana White's Contender Series 5 months ago, fighting a guy that looks like a bum. He just looks like a bum. He fights like a bum. He's been fighting for a while, though, and he's just not getting better. He's been knocked out in every single fight. Ozzy Diaz here, 9-3, just lost to Ming Yang Zhang round 1 3 months ago. He's probably getting a fight in the UFC again to get another loss. I don't see him winning. I know Santos won his last 3 fights by a decision. not overly impressive. But if there was ever a fight for this Brazilian to get a big knockout win, it's probably against this guy that's been knocked out every single fight. I can't really pick against Santos, but I'm not overly confident he can get it done. This is a middleweight fight. There's power on both sides, finishing upside on both sides. I don't want to be too invested in a favorite that's fighting his debut. Can't trust him to get a finish, although this guy has been finished in every single loss. Ozzy Diaz. Now, looking at my paper here, I have raw notes, and Ozzy, he has been fighting for quite some time, and I don't see any improvements. He's been fighting since 2015, since he was 22 years old, fairly inactive throughout his career, and his biggest moment was in his amateur career when he got submitted to Dominic Reyes. All right, you fought Dominic Reyes, got submitted round 1. Congratulations. Knocked out 3 times pro. You're fighting a guy that could possibly get the knockout. He has 3 knockout wins, 4 submission wins, 3 decisions on the Contender Series, beat up Will Curry. I think a lot of other guys would have got knocked out. That's why I kind of lean a knockout. But now that I see 4 submission wins and only 2 submission wins for Ozzy Diaz, you never know. This could be the first submission loss for Ozzy Diaz. I doubt he's very good on the ground because he has 7 knockout wins. This is a fight where both these guys are just going to stand and bang, and I'm siding with the favorite in his debut. I'm going to do it. And the next fight of the night in the featherweight division, we got Francis Fire Marshall as a plus 250 underdog, and this guy's very good on the ground. He's underrated, and he's definitely not overpriced in this fight versus Mairon Santos. Off a win, Ultimate Fighter to Con Offley, who got knocked out. Looked awfully bad in that fight 6 months ago. Is Mairon Santos the real deal? I ask myself that. Is he lock-worthy? I also ask myself that. And a voice whispers in my ear, he's going to win. Mairon Santos looks crisp and clean on the feet. 8 knockout wins, 6 wins by a decision. He can go 15 minutes. Well trained at the Ultimate Fighter. And he is training at Extreme Couture. I don't want to fade that gym. I don't want to pick a guy like Francis Marshall who gets hit a lot, who lost to William Gomes. He lost to William Gomes. I think Mairon Santos is better than William Gomes. Look what Hyder Emil just did to William Gomes. William Gomes, like I said last week, was overpriced, overvalued, overrated. In this fight, I don't think Mairon Santos is. He's rightfully a favorite in this fight. He should dominate, likely get a knockout finish. Francis Marshall was just knocked out not too long ago, lost to William Gomes. Other than a submission win, I don't see Francis Marshall having a chance. On the ground is his only path to victory. I'm extremely confident Mairon Santos gets his hand raised in this fight. If you want to see my bets, the locks early, $5 a month, soon to be $8 a month on Patreon. Hit the link in the description below. Locks will be posted at the end of this video. I'll let you know who they are, but they will be in Discord today. We got Alex, the Great White Morono next, and he's fighting Carlos Leal as a massive favorite. I am picking this favorite, but not with the confidence that the books have. The books are at you see the odds, right? They're very confident he can win. I'm telling you right now, 53% confident Leal can win. This is a 50-50 fight. Morono has experience inside of the UFC, coming off a split decision to Daniel Rodriguez. You look at the other side, Rinya Fakhretdinov, unanimous decision loss. But we all know Rinya Fakhretdinov had a very tough fight. It was a questionable unanimous decision, and Leal looked very good in his debut. It was a short notice fight for him. Change of opponents for Rinya Fakhretdinov, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think he was completely ready to go in that fight, and that's why Leal looks so good. Recency bias, Leal, yeah, he should be a favorite, but this big of a favorite, I don't think so. I think Morono still has the better experience inside of the UFC. He has a path to victory on the ground in this fight. Leal, he's looking good in the LFA, right? 3-0, 5-2 in the PFL, lost 5 by a decision. Only 2 submission wins when he has 10 knockouts and 7 decision wins. I see a hole in his game plan on the ground. He's going to struggle versus Alex Morono, who has 7 submission wins and never been submitted. Morono can lose a decision, 8 decision losses. He can win a decision. He's won 10 of them. So this is a close fight. I don't know why the odds are so close. You can take Carlos Leal, put him in every single parlay, but I do not advise that. I'm not going to do that. My Platinum forecasters will not be seeing Leal on any bets. No prop bets. I'm staying away. But he is a pick. There is value in betting Alex Morono in this fight. Probably by a submission, in my opinion. He could win a decision. I'm just going to pass on the bets. There's no reason to bet each and every fight, look to get paid, when you can just pick your spots, snipe your spots, and rightfully get paid the right way. Put the units down that you're comfortable with. Don't bet above your head. Bet within your means. Have a bankroll management system. And put 10 units, 5 units in a lock parlay. Make it your top play. Below that, there should be no other bets near that. You can do a little bit of pizza money parlays, pizza money props. Other than that, honestly, like candy, junk food money, money that you would take to McDonald's, you shouldn't be betting on this fight. I'm not even taking my McDonald's money and betting on this fight. All right? Too big of a favorite. Let's see what happens in this one. Leal is the pick. My official prediction is Leal by a decision. It's going to be a nail biter, though. The next one, Brunno Fieta, plus 125 against Armen Petrosyan. All right. The dog of the week this early. We're 5 in a row, looking to make it 6. I got 4 underdog picks on the card. I didn't pick an underdog yet. This guy's barking. I will let you know the underdog of the week officially at the end of this video. Stay tuned. But for right now, Brunno Fieta is one of my most confident underdogs on this card out of 4. There's 4 underdogs that I'm picking between for an underdog of the week. One of them has to get us the win. 6 in a row. Let's go. Fieta in this fight, I think he has the power. I think he can push forward and probably knock out a guy like Armen Petrosyan, who's just got knocked out, right? A double spinning back fist, and he got knocked out. I think Brunno just has the raw power, punching power to get this done at any point in the fight. He went 3 rounds with Abus Magomedov, showing that he could go 15 minutes and possibly win this fight by a decision. I'm not against going heavy on this money line bet, honestly. At the value I see, with how confident I am, Brunno Fieta seems like the side. I'm very comfortable with a bet here. I think he's just too powerful on the feet. You see him knock out a guy like RoboCop round 1, and then RoboCop can take a guy like Armen Petrosyan to a split decision. Should have won. I mean, Armen 8-4, 3-3 in the UFC, 0 submission wins. I don't think Brunno Fieta is getting submitted again in this fight. I don't think he's getting pushed up against the fence and knocked out. Armen Petrosyan, 6'3", small reach advantage. He's probably getting knocked out in this fight. Don't love him as a pick. He's probably on his way to the PFL. He's 8-4. Fought 4 months ago, got knocked out. Now they're putting him in there against a big, bad Brazilian that hits like a truck. I don't think it's going to end well for this favorite. I can't even believe he's a favorite. I can't even believe I just said this favorite. How is Armen Petrosyan a favorite in this fight? He's 4 years older. He has no finishing capabilities in this fight, in my opinion. 5 knockouts, but regional scene knockouts. He's in for a tough fight. Don't pick him as a favorite. That's my best advice in this matchup. There's money to be made on Brunno Fieta. So much money to be made. So much money. Lock of the week here. Potentially, he is a favorite versus an undefeated fighter, Joshua Van, looking good in the UFC. He has more UFC experience against Rei Tsuruya, who fought on the road to the UFC, right? The Asian regional scene. And this type of fighter, not just him in particular, some of them are losing. And a lot of them that are undefeated, not just Japanese fighters, but undefeated fighters in general are losing. Keep an eye on that. And just remember, the fight night is in Vegas, a snake city. You're the snake. And there's an egg sitting there with Rei Tsuruya. The snake's going to eat up that egg. Joshua Van's going to win this fight with the UFC experience. Look what he did to Cody Durden in that last one. That's what I'm saying. Like, beat the living fuck out of him. Sorry for swearing, but beat the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other guys would have been knocked out. 6 knockout wins for Joshua Van. The only other time he got the knockout in the UFC, I'm pretty sure, was when he was $1.50 favorite in that range versus Boons. He beat him up. And now Tsuruya, a guy that is unsuccessful with takedowns pretty well in his last fight. He didn't look like he was having much success shooting a lot of takedowns, but I don't think he's going to get them in this fight especially. Carlos Hernandez was able to shut down most of the takedowns. I don't think the submission is that live, but it's clearly the only path to victory. Joshua Van on the ground. I worry a little bit. Only 1 submission loss, so I'm not too worried. Tsuruya, his only way to win, just like Francis Fire Marshall, is to get this done by a submission, and I just can't put it together. I can't see it happening. It's not in my forecast. Joshua Van is a lock of the week in my forecast. At this price, the bookies are telling you something. They don't trust in the undefeated fighter from the road to the UFC. To the UFC, he's fighting a guy that is too equipped, too experienced, 5-1 in the UFC. I can't go against Joshua Van. And I had to get off Instagram because people are actually picking against this guy. After everything I've done up until this point, I don't think Joshua Van, born the year of the snake, is going to lose in a snake city, Las Vegas, in a snake year versus an undefeated fighter with an egg. No. Joshua Van, lock it in here. If you want to go against him, it's up to you. Like I said, you're entitled to your own picks, your opinions, but I can't engage with anyone taking Rei Tsuruya in this fight. Can't do it. Won't do it. I'm looking to get paid. I'm looking to get these locks back on track. The last 2 weeks, we were robbed by a split decision. Last week, not so much. I think Rebovic's lost round 1 and 2 probably. But Matsumoto, that was a tough loss. This week, I don't want to see any of these fights go 15 minutes. Joshua Van, this is a fight where people think, oh, he's just going to win a decision. Honestly, this fight of any fights, he's live for a knockout. He beat up Djorden in his last bout. He's due for a dominant performance, proving that he is the guy at flyweight. I think he's the guy. I've believed in him the whole time, and he's been making me money. 5-1 in the UFC. So, can't go against him. I just can't. And I'm putting money on him. Big money on him to win on the money line. Next fight, Curtis Razor Blaydes 18-5 versus Rizvan Kuniev plus 275. I don't know what's going on with these odds. I don't want to take too long with this breakdown. It's a heavyweight fight, but the only thing I got to say in this one, Curtis Blaydes knocked out 5 times. He has 5 losses. We just seen Kuniev come off a Dana White's Contender Series win in round 1 by knockout. He has knockout power. 6 knockouts. He has wrestling capabilities as well. High-level wrestling here. The Russian is dominant on the ground. He beat Renan Fieda in the PFL. He failed a drug test, but he won the fight. He's off the juice. Probably not, though. And if he's not off the juice, honestly, if he's not off the juice, he's probably going to win this fight. Your bets are going to cash. I'd take Kuniev in this fight. Some of these fighters, the last couple weeks, I'm like, what are they drinking? What are they on? Like Manel Kape looked ripped in the main event. Maybe it's just me, but some of these fighters look extremely in shape. Let's see what these guys look like at the weigh-ins and face-offs. I'll tell you right now, I do have a bet on this underdog. He is the pick as well. Low to medium confidence because I don't trust in Curtis Blaydes and his chin. His chin, for one, isn't there. Knocked out 5 times. He gets wobbled a lot. And his only path to victory, in my opinion, unless he somehow lands a knockout punch versus someone that's never been knocked out, is to wrestle. And he's not going to have success wrestling a wrestler. a very good one. Rizvan Kuniev. The bookies have been drinking. They have messed up the odds in this fight. That is my opinion. I'm not betting this one too heavy because they might know something I don't. But I do have a bet on this underdog. 2 units. Rizvan Kuniev. I think it's worth it. The value is there. I don't agree with the odds. I think he's a better wrestler. I think he has more power on the feet. Probably knocks out a guy like Curtis Razor Blaydes in his debut. I forgot about that. It's his debut. Debuts don't go so good for many fighters. Fight fiends and forecasters have their fingers crossed. This debut fighter can get it done, though. He's born the year of the rooster. It's the year of the snake. He should have a good year. Looking at the astrology. And Curtis Blaydes, I can't trust his chin. I can't trust this guy's chin. He's wobbled in almost every fight. Almost every fight. Bobby, where'd you go, buddy? King Green's fighting as a plus 350 dog versus Mauricio Ruffy, a guy that looks like one of the best prospects in the UFC. That's what Kyle Bahio says. Not just in the UFC, just in general. This guy is elite. He shows it in his fights. He's flexible, athletic, and he should pick apart. Pick apart Bobby Green. He should. Bobby Green lost his last fight, round 1, Paddy Pimblett. I don't think a submission is out of the question for a guy at Fighting Nerds. I would play it by finish. Pretty big favorite. I think he bounces back with a finish. He's a guy that's known to finish fights by knockout. It doesn't matter the round. He carries the power throughout the entire fight. Looking at the paper here, 10 knockout wins. The only decision win was in his last bout. There is a chance he gets his second decision win after his first. But Bobby Green, he's another guy knocked out 5 times. 5 knockout losses, 38 years old, on the decline in his career. The raw notes don't look good. The raw power looks incredible for Mauricio Ruffy. $1.22, there is a little bit of value there. In my opinion, on the money line, he's probably safe for parlays. Unlike, what's his name? I don't feel safe about Carlos Leal. But Mauricio Ruffy, I feel confident. I feel comfortable. And I think he is 1 shot away, 2 shots away, 3 shots away from a title shot. He definitely needs to prove it in this fight. This is a winnable fight. A winnable fight by a finish versus a guy like Bobby Green. Submitted 3 times as well. Ruffy never, ever won by a submission. He's never won by a submission. He could win by a submission. There is a path to victory there, for sure. But on the feet, hard to bet against him when he's had 10 knockout wins, a lot in round 1, has knockouts in round 3. You just play it by finish. The difference between the knockout and the finish at this point in his career, probably not big of a difference. So there's not any reason to get too technical with it and chase the KO. You never know when he could club and sub. When there's 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents in the difference between the finish and knockout, you just play it by finish, right? The double chance. You want to increase the probability of it hitting at all costs, especially when the value has a minimal difference, 10 cents, 20 cents, you know what I'm saying. Let's be smart. Don't bet above your head. Bet within your means. Have a bankroll that is comfortable for you. Manage it. There are a lot of spots, a lot of underdogs that you can make money on, a lot of potential favorites you could parlay and make a bag on. So be smart and let's win some money in Las Vegas this weekend. We got a women's fight here. Another underdog. She's barking. Amanda Lemos, plus 110. She was a bigger underdog. Wish I would have got a bet in at a better number. I don't think I'm going to get it. Don't think I'm going to see it. Iasmin Lucindo, 17-5, has a ton of experience. People are picking her to win, but she's 23. Lemos is 37, and although Lemos is getting older, there is a way and a path that people could see her on the way to the UFC, but I don't see it. She lost to the champion, Weili Zhang. It's Weili Zhang. Look at what she is doing. Virna Jandiroba submitted her in round 2, and Virna is the next girl in line, in my opinion, for a title shot. She could be the next one fighting Weili Zhang. All right, let's put that in your mind. The only girls that can beat Amanda Lemos are high-level girls. Now, the next question I must ask you. Do you think Lucindo is at the point in her career off a split decision win to Marina Rodriguez that she can beat a high-level girl top 5 in this division and potentially fight for a belt? I don't think so at all. A split decision win to Marina Rodriguez. I don't think so, girl. You're not ready yet. Amanda Lemos finished Marina Rodriguez. She beat that girl up. Lemos has the finishing potential in this fight. She has the UFC experience in this fight. Although 13-11, 1-1. That's Bobby Green, sorry. UFC record. 8-4 UFC record for Amanda Lemos. And 4-1 for Iasmin Lucindo. I think Amanda Lemos has clearly fought the higher caliber fighters. The 4 losses come to high caliber fighters. And the 4 wins for Lucindo come to Brogdon Walker. Brogdon Walker. And Carolina Kalvakevich. There's a reason that money is coming in on Amanda Lemos. Amandina is getting it done. 37 years old, underdog. She's getting it done. And another thing before I bounce to the next prediction. Lucindo impressively has been fighting on the Brazilian regional scene since 15 years old. 2017. 2017 was when Amanda Lemos debuted in the UFC. I think she has way too much experience, has only lost to high-level girls, and she is not done yet. Amandina has a lot of work to do yet against these lower-level girls. I think Lemos is like a gatekeeper in like the top 5 range. And this is a perfect fight to send Lucindo back down the ranks a little bit, get a little bit more experience, and then 2 years from now, Lucindo, Lemos rematch, Lucindo would get it done. Too young, too green, low-level wins. I don't think she's getting it done here. Give me the dog, Amanda Lemos, but not the dog of the week. Don't get it twisted. I'm not making no women's fighter a dog of the week when I'm 5 in a row. Fight fiends and forecasters. Don't get it twisted. She's just the pick, and most certainly the bet. We got money on her. Now we got 2 of the biggest guys in the division. 6'3", 155 pounds. Ignacio Bahamondes, Jalin Turner. Interesting fight. 16-5 Bahamondes, 14-8 Turner. Now I know Turner has lost to high caliber competition, just like Lemos. He is underdog. I could make an argument to pick him to win, potentially buy a submission in this fight. But reality of the matter is, I think Ignacio Bahamondes is really good. He proved it in his last fight. 11 knockout wins. He keeps adding to that. On the feet, he's hard to deal with. At 6'3", 76-inch reach, at 155, he's going to beat a lot of guys just like Jalin Turner. But Turner has fought the best of the best, and he's lost. Split decision, yes, to one of the best wrestlers in the division, Mateus Gamrot. Now, there is a world where I'm completely wrong, but Jalin Turner is fighting in his enemy year. He's been knocked out 4 times, 4 decision losses. He's never had success by a decision. He has no decision wins. It's because he's a finisher. He goes all out for the finish. He gasses himself out. He's probably working on that cardio, but I don't think working on the cardio, trying to make this fight go 15 minutes and win it 15 minutes, is a good idea when I think Ignacio Bahamondes has a better fighter's IQ and can win this easily by a decision. I think he's going to be more comfortable on the feet in the striking department, and he's 16-5. He has only looked better since he's lost. He's on a 2-fight win streak, 5-2 in the UFC. Jalin Turner, although he's fought good level of competition, the best of the best, Renato Moicano, Mateus Gamrot, Bobby Green, knocked out Bobby Green round 1. He's 7-5 in the UFC, 14-8 professionally. I can't pick him to win. Not against a guy that can match him on the feet. 6'3", the next biggest guy in the division, a couple years younger. I'm taking Bahamondes. Enemy year. I quickly said that for Jalin Turner. Year of the pig. This is probably the Zodiac forecast of the week. I've seen these fighters that are fighting in their enemy year get smoked. Javid Basharat was one of them. All right, now we take a look at last week. I can get my paper out. There was another pig. I seen it coming. Y'all know I did. Danny Barlow got smoked on the feet. I never seen that knockout coming. I thought submission maybe. So I bet it for Sam Patterson, and he got the knockout. Danny Barlow was fighting in his enemy year with an egg. The snake took his egg away. Danny Barlow's not undefeated anymore. The enemy year is a son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I'm taking Ignacio Bahamondes in this fight. Co-main event. Rafael Fiziev coming off a pretty big knee injury a year and 5 months ago. Is there rust? Hard to say. He's training all the time. He looks like he's in incredible shape. He could win this fight, but it is a rematch fight. He lost before to Justin Gaethje. Gaethje got it done by a majority decision. Gaethje also got knocked out in the last second in his last fight to Max Holloway. The chin and durability is diminishing, and we don't want it to. We want him to stand there and bang and have a war, entertain us. But at the same time, if you're a fan of Justin Gaethje, you don't want to see that, man. Because if he does that in this fight, he probably gets knocked out against a guy with more power on the feet. Gaethje has more precision, but the power probably goes to Fiziev. All right, now you got to be careful with this underdog. I have money on him. He is a pick. I like Justin Gaethje. He won this fight the first time. I think he can win this fight by a decision this time. You know, it's only 15 minutes. It's not 5 rounds. If it was 5 rounds, he might not be the pick. But 15 minutes, a great coach, I can't go against him. You're giving me plus money. He won the fight first time around, and now Fiziev is coming back off over a year. An injury. There's question marks. More question marks on the side of Rafael Fiziev. He is a favorite. I don't fucking like it. I don't like it. But I do love him as a fighter. Fiziev is one of my favorite fighters. I do think he has potential to be a champion. But obviously he had to win that fight versus Mateus Gamrot. And he didn't. He got hurt. So I don't know. Can that knee hold up in this fight? Justin Gaethje has hard leg kicks. He has precision. Like I said, the accuracy of the punches and kicks of Gaethje will win him the fight. The volume for Justin Gaethje should win him the fight just like it won him the first fight. Now he even can mix in the wrestling. He's a very good wrestler. Justin Gaethje does not like to wrestle in his fights. But let me tell you something. At the end of his career, 36 years old, off a knockout loss, expect maybe a takedown from Justin Gaethje. Expect him to secure a round. Secure this win in a rematch fight. Rematches, like I said numerous times on the show, don't always go down the same way. All right, so this can't be the dog of the week. Not the most confident underdog of the week, but Justin Gaethje's the pick. Fiziev, one of my favorite fighters, not going to lie. So this is not a biased pick. This is how I see the fight going down. I seen all the stats, looked at all the numbers. I got Gaethje in this fight. And now we got the main event of the evening. Alex Poatan Pieta, 12-2, looking to defend the belt at light heavyweight versus Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev, 21-1, has been robbed by a draw to Jan Blachowicz. The judges clearly don't want him to win in these big fights, and this is a big fight. If it goes 15, he's probably not having success with the takedowns, right? It's going to go 25 if he survives, and he still won't have any success in round 4 or 5, in my opinion. Ankalaev, later this fight goes, the more Pereira is going to pick him apart, find his spots, and pound him. I didn't think he would get past Khalil Roundtree so easily. He did. He got knocked down once. I knew Khalil Roundtree was a hard hitter, more raw power, and Roundtree is a harder hitter, more raw power than Ankalaev. Ankalaev can't knock out a guy like Rakic. But Ankalaev honestly has shown little finishing potential and finishing upside in this fight to pick him to win, and I don't know why the odds are so close. This is a fight, I said it on an earlier breakdown, I'm picking Pereira, but if the bookies know something I don't, suggested with these odds, we're going to get screwed. Because I am very confident Alex Poatan Pieta remains and still one of the best of all time. I think we are seeing right now in the UFC, one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. This guy is the real deal. I did pick against him last time. I thought I had I don't know why I thought Khalil Roundtree was a good idea. I thought he was the guy. I thought he had the power. I thought he had the backstory to beat Alex Poatan Pieta. But in this fight, I don't think Ankalaev has what it takes. The wrestling ain't going to work. He doesn't have power on the feet. Pereira's going to pick him apart, stop the takedowns, win this fight, just like Joshua Van's going to do. All right? Just like Mairon Santos is going to do. And the locks of the week are going to be victorious. And still, we're going 3 in a row on the locks this week. You just heard them. Keep the ears open. I think Pieta, we're getting too much value here. I expect people to be betting this one very heavy. He has to become a bigger favorite. These odds are way too close. Unless, like I said, the bookies know something and Ankalaev somehow wins this fight. I just don't see it. Not in this world. Not in 2025. Ankalaev ain't winning. Not during Ramadan. Like, he can't finish Rakic. He's not going to beat Pieta. He ain't going to do it. He's done. This is the last time Ankalaev will have a chance to fight for a title shot, and he's done. After this fight, he's done. That's it, man. Alex hits too hard. Takedown defense with Glover Teixeira, too good. Too good. 9-1 in the UFC. He could even look at being a potential heavyweight champion in the future. This guy could be the GOAT. He might be the GOAT. What's your opinion? Is Alex Poatan Pieta the GOAT yet? After this fight? I don't know. He's pretty good. And I think he's so good that Ankalaev is getting picked apart on the feet. He's never been knocked out. He's been submitted once. People always like to bet Alex by submission, eh? Maybe this is the fight that he gets the submission. Alex Pieta by submission. He's never won by submission. He could be working on it. I've seen him going for takedowns on Instagram here. There is a path that Alex could stop a takedown, get a guillotine submission attempt, and make it work. That would be wild. Fight fiends and forecasters. That'd be wild. All right, the locks of the week one more time. You want to hear them? loud and clear. I'm taking a plus 250 parlay. 3 locks of the week. Tons of value on these fighters. Mairon Santos, Joshua Van, and like I said, Alex, Potan Pieta, and still 3 locks of the week, plus 250. We're getting a great number on Joshua Van and especially Alex Pieta. Incredible number. Expect the line to drop, Fight Fiends and forecasters. Take the bet on these favorites and let's get paid. We got the dog of the week next, 5 in a row, and he's looking to get us paid as well here. There's 4 underdog opportunities. Obviously, the most confident one was Brunno Fieta versus Armen Petrosyan. That is my most confident underdog on this card. That is the underdog I'm putting heavy money on. Looking to go 6 in a row consecutively. I think we have the forward pressure once again in this fight. We have the punching power, the volume, the takedown defense. And looking at the raw notes, he has no submission wins. Nothing to worry about here. Big money on the dog of the week, Brunno Fieta, the Brazilian. If you don't like the dog of the week, I don't know what to tell you. We're hot, we're on a heater, and the heater will continue in Las Vegas. Let's keep it going, Fight Fiends and forecasters. Thank you for believing in me, putting some faith in the Fight Fiend and the forecast. If you want to become a platinum forecaster, join the crew. $5 a month going to $8 a month. Hit the link in the description below. Each and every bet is pretty well posted already. We're looking to get paid. We're looking to cash in Las Vegas.